We'll reconvene the meeting from our closed session, and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence led by our Board of Trustees student rep, Aaron Beck. Aaron?
Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart, ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As a school district, our staff and students are a family, and we want everyone on our campuses to feel safe and welcome. Recent events surrounding immigration have left many students on our campuses uneasy. Regardless of our beliefs around this issue, we want to acknowledge those students in difficult situations and the students who are supporting one another. Today, we take a moment of silence to recognize those facing uncertainty and the countless individuals fighting for comfort for all. As we stand together in this moment, let us reflect on the strength, resilience, and the community we have in AUHSD. May the silence serve as a reminder that no one should have to face struggles alone and that our collective voices matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. I will now have the closed session report out by our clerk.
Thank you. 4.1, no report or action taken regarding public employee performance evaluation superintendent. 4.2, the Board of Trustees, by a vote of 5-0, approved the settlement agreements in Orange County Superior Court case numbers 30-20219-CU-PO-NJC, 30-2022-0129-2985-CU-PO-CJC, and 30-20220-01289723-CU-PO-CJC. 4.3, no report or action taken regarding negotiations. 4.4, no report or action taken regarding personnel. 4.5, no report or action taken regarding personnel. 4.6, the Board of Trustees unanimously voted to suspend without pay for 7 days employee HR-2024-25-07. And that concludes the closed session report.
Thank you, Ms. Guerrero. Next is recognitions. We have a couple of people here this evening to be recognized for donations they have made, and I'll come over here to the podium. First recognition, is this on? Okay. The first recognition is for Don Crote Partnership Incorporated. Can you please come forward? Are you here this evening? Okay, we will move to the second one. Maybe he'll get here in time. Otherwise, we'll get to him later on. Next one is Farmer and Merchant Bank. Are they in the audience? Thank you. Founded in Long Beach in 1907 by C.J. Walker, Farmers and Merchant Bank is among the top 150 banks in the nation, specializing in commercial and small business banking, business loan programs, home loan programs, and a robust offering of consumer retail banking products. As one of the last family-run independent banks in the country, F&M prides itself on the communities we serve and staying true to our founders' words, that safeguarding our clients' money is a sacred trust. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, we would like to recognize and thank Farmers and Merchant Bank for the generous donation of $10,000 to the AIM program. Accepting the recognition on behalf of Farmers and Merchant Bank is Sandra Ellis, Vice President and Garden Grove Branch Manager. Thank you so much. Did Dunn Cruelty Partnership people come in? Nope, we'll catch them. If you see them walk in, please let me know. Okay. Okay. Next is naming a facility for Alden Espin. And the Board of Trustees is requested to approve this request to rename the auditorium at Ball Junior High School after Alden Esping. Mr. Esping was a teacher and activities director at Ball Junior High School beginning in 1965 through 1990. He completed his career serving as a teacher and activities director at Loara High School. His work was recognized throughout the state of California, being inducted into the California Association of Directors of Activities, or called CATA, Hall of Fame. In addition to being recognized as the Orange County Teacher of the Year in 1980, additionally, as a result of the direct impact Mr. Esping had on his students and community, he was also given the Warren E. Schul Award and the Jack Moore Award. Mr. Esping's service went well beyond the school as he established CATA leadership camps and worked closely with the local YMCA to host summer camps for local students in Catalina and in San Bernardino Mountains. The district's ad hoc committees evaluated the request, developed a report, and made a recommendation to the board for their consideration. So, do we have a motion to?
So moved.
Second.
Do you have any further discussion?
We have,
Comments?
President, we have one public comment.
Okay, certainly. Paul Chalinsky, got to come to the podium and.
Well, Alden's watching, so we want to make sure we smile a lot and wave to him, because I turned him on to YouTube before I ran over here, because, hi, Alden. He doesn't really like things like this, but we're doing it anyway. Good evening, and thank you, School Board Superintendent Matsuda and the Anaheim Union High School District School Board and the community. It's an honor to speak about Alden Esping, who has a measurable impact on this community. To live in Anaheim is to know Alden. He is not just a friend, he's not just a mentor, or a guiding force to so many of us. He is the definition of community. If you think of Anaheim, you think of Alden, his work at Ball Junior High. It started in 1965, and his legacy continues to echo, especially in this very building that many of us are here because of him, and all knew him since we were little young teachers, I believe so, right? He wanted me to say hello to you, and hello to you, and hello to you, and he wanted me to say hello. Let me ask you, if you're a student or colleague in the building, I mean, we could stand up, right? The rain definitely deterred a lot of us, but I know that a lot of us are on YouTube watching as we speak. Alden ran the student leadership classes until 1996, shaping the school's culture and leaving a lasting impact on the lives of thousands of students. For many of us, our memories of junior high are inseparable from Alden. Standing on a stage with the pom-pom in hand, relying on all of the energy and enthusiasm. Even the young man that's at Ball Junior High today, Jeffrey Cornelius, was once one of his students, as was I, and I'm at Loara High School as the activities director. So that is a testament to who Alden is. Even the AP at Ball Junior High, Mr. Dorosky, was one of Mr. Esping's ASB presidents. He didn't just teach in the classroom. Alden made sure that the entire student body, whether at Ball Junior High or Loara High School, or even through his work with the YMCA, was part of something bigger than themselves. He knew how to build community. Year after year, Alden took a group of boys on a trip to San Francisco, fundraising through hard work in the community. These trips and countless others allowed us to form bonds and that continue on today. I have many friends from the 9th grade because of that trip. Did I go long or something?
No, you're okay.
Huh?
You're okay.
Am I timed? Oh, okay, good. He took kids to Catalina Island at camp in the mountains, in the leadership events, and all with one goal in mind, and that's to build relationships, create memories, and foster leadership. In his career, Alden also became recognized leadership in the statewide and national organizations, as you mentioned, at CATA. CATA Ambassador, he's won national awards, state awards, and the likes. He expanded the reach of student activities for this district, and we're known nationally in this district because of what Alden has started. His pioneering leadership at camps, leaving his mark across California, his recognitions such as being inducted in the Cata Hall of Fame and also being named Orange County Teacher of the Year, which was well-deserved. But the real legacy, it's us, it's the kids. Those who had the privilege to learning from him. I'm 60, and I still think of myself as a kid. Okay. Alden showed us that activities directors don't just organize events, they build community. He's always been there for us, even when it wasn't his job. He didn't get paid to send us on trips or organize camps. He did it because he believed in what we could become. Teachers build inside the classroom, coaches build on the field, but activities directors, they build the community. It's something that has lasted far beyond those spaces. A community that continues to thrive today. I was at his house tonight, and he was getting texts from a 64-year-old former student saying, "Thank you for sending me a birthday card." He still sends cards. And it wasn't just Anaheim. Alden's influence stretches far and wide. Every time I run into someone connected to Ball Junior High or Loera, I see Alden's legacy. He and his wife Linda gave us the space to grow, connect, and support each other, and they still do today. That's something you can't put a price on, and that is why we're here today. So to Alden, we say thank you. The work you have done has not only shaped communities or countless students and entire schools, but also communities as a whole. You showed us that the student activities are more than posters and balloons. They're about providing connections, purpose, and meaning to the entire student body. The activities directors throughout this district today are a testimony to his work. And so I urge the school board to approve this small gesture and token of appreciation for a lifetime of dedication and service to the Anaheim Union High School District and the entire community. On a personal note, I live and work through Alden, and the influence became my influence. And Alden, if you're still watching, I haven't gone to bed yet, your impact has reached beyond the classroom, the school, and the years. This recognition is long overdue, and we're grateful for your legacy. We'll continue to live on in the space where it all began. Thank you for showing us what true leadership and community look like. And remember, once a Saxon, always a Saxon. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, with that said, yes.
Well, I just wanted to say hi, Alden and Linda. If you're watching, I've known them for many years, and they were very good to me. And I am also a former Blackhawk parent, so this is going to go a long way to honor Alden. So,
Thank you.
Alden was a leader for me when I was an activities director at Kennedy and at Oxford. And so, I would see him during the summers in front of Duke's Waikiki. Him and Linda were there for months, and they showed me like how to get and stay in Waikiki for cheap, because they had all the connections. And if you ever see a Duke's commercial with Linda and Alden trying out the hula pie, that's a real treat to see. So because they picked them for the commercial. So Linda and Alden, congratulations.
I also had the opportunity to meet Alden and Linda very briefly at Mama Koza's, which I know they frequently visit, and which is owned by another Laura High School alumni. So his dedication and to Laura High School and Ball Junior High School is well beyond since retiring from our district. So I'm very excited that we're doing this today to honor him.
Yes.
Hi, Alden and Linda. I just want to say thank you. Their community to bring that to the stage.
I have had the pleasure of knowing Alden for over 20 years now, and he's done so much for the district and the community, the kids in it. So I just thank you very much, and it's well-deserved, what, the recognition this evening. Do we have any, oh, let's take a vote first. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, no opposition there. Do we have any family members? Do we have any family members of the audience?
Alden thought it was a little odd if he showed up tonight, and so they live out of town stuff, so he wanted to make sure that. I don't know.
Okay.
But we have former ASB president sitting behind me that came from far away to make sure
Well,
that they're here. And there are a lot of others that are coming as well, but the right to turn them.
Yeah. Okay, understand. Okay. All right, absolutely. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, once again. Has the representative from Don Crote come in yet? Nope. Okay. We'll move on to the next item of business, which would be normally number 8, but I'm going to pull forward 12.11, which is a resolution. And this is resolution number 2024/25-E-19, National Athletic Training Month. And I'm going to read.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have motion and a second. And is that to get my glasses out? Thank you. All right, that's a little better. Since 1950, an organization known as the National Athletic Trainers Association, or NATA, has advocated for setting a standard for professionalism, education, certification, research, and practice settings nationwide. Since its inception, NATA has been a driving force behind the recognition of the athletic training profession. March has been designated as National Athletic Training Month. Certified athletic trainers employed by the district are nationally certified and dedicated to providing professional health care for our student athletes. The athletic healthcare services provided by certified athletic trainers include the education, prevention, recognition, evaluation, treatment, as well as rehabilitation of athletic injuries and illness. The district continues to be recognized as a leader in sports-related concussion management for high school athletes. Our athletic trainers work collaboratively with parents, school staff, and community medical providers to promote safe participation for over 23,000 student athletes each year. So with that said, we have, I think maybe in the audience, some trainers, and I'm going to read their names, and when I read your name, if you please stand, okay? Garrett Freight from Anaheim High School. Stay standing, that's good. You follow directions, good. Marcy Lloyd, Cypress High School. Andrew Akbo, Catella High School. Ryan Ramirez, Aurora High School. Micah Abenkula, Magnolia High School. And Naomi Royce, Western High School. Thank you for all that you do for our students, keeping them healthy out there and mending them when they needed to be mended. So thank you so much for being here. So with that said, are we ready for a vote? Okay, Mr. Hoshi.
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo.
As a mother of a athletic student, my daughter played softball, volleyball, and soccer. I was so grateful to always have an athletic trainer when anything happened, and so really honor you. This isn't just a resolution for me. This is really meaningful, and I'm so glad that you're all here today, that we get to really thank you in person and all the other athletic trainers that are out there. So
I'm sorry. I would also like to just say thank you. I don't think people realize the long hours that you guys have. athletic schedules are just random all over the place, and I just want to let you know that we as a board acknowledge you and your work. So thank you.
Ms. Guerrero?
I will also echo that. Thank you so much for everything that you do. I know last night I was at the Anaheim High School basketball game. I know Garrett was there to a few of the games actually that happened last night, and got to see you in action. You don't only just take care of our team. I know you also take care of the other team if they get hurt. So we appreciate each and every one of you, what you do. So with that, I also vote aye.
Oh, thank you. And I had the pleasure of talking to the trainer at Kennedy High School at their open house last month. And we had a long conversation about what she does and looking around her room and seeing all the supplies she has. So it was very informative conversation. So with that, I say aye. So thank you.
Right.
And you don't have to stay here if you don't want to, because the program, you are dismissed. Has Don Crote Partnerships come in yet? Not yet, okay. I'll keep asking. Next pardon me? Oh, okay, all right, thank you. We have a student board representative report. Erin?
Okay. First, looking at Anaheim, visiting from Sycamore and South Junior High School on January 28th, neighboring middle schools visited Anaheim High School to gain insight on the various activities and student-led culture at Anaheim. Additionally, entering CIF, Anaheim High School's girls water polo advances through the rounds to their quarterfinal game against Indio High School. We're proud of our student athletes and their dedication to athleticism. Now, moving on to CVA. For CVA, students continue to be acknowledged at CVA in personal posts highlighting their accomplishments throughout their journey of life. Additionally, CVA had a global EdTech exchange, which they had the opportunity to present to an esteemed group of educators and Department of Education staff from South Korea. Innovation continues to grow, and CVA continues to share their vision, strategies, and advancements in virtual learning. Now let's look at Cyprus. For Cyprus, the month of January was action-packed. They had their winter formal with beautiful ocean-themed decorations and their open house where parents had the chance to come to the school and get a better idea at the Cyprus high school community. In addition, Cyprus had our Visioning Day, which was a great morning collecting feedback from students, faculty, and parents regarding their priorities and values as a school. Lastly, they had their RSVP Summit 3, which covered the results from the previous two summits. Cyprus successfully accomplished vape detectors, lunchtime snacks and slushies, better CNC assignments, and more classes, while there were countless pending concerns that are still possible to make happen. Way to go, Cyprus. Now for Catella. Catella High School welcomed South Junior and Sycamore Junior over for cruise to Catella. They were welcomed by Catella's amazing Link Crew leaders and some ASB members. Due to weather complications, the event took place in their main gym. The students saw many amazing performances such as dance team, cheer, choir, theater, advanced dance productions, sports, and more. They had a wonderful time performing for them and informing them about electives, sports, and classes they could join at Catella. Now moving on to Kennedy. On January 10th, they had 8th graders from Walker Junior High School participate in their Walk from Walker event. They were able to learn more about Kennedy's special programs at Kennedy, tour classes, and see what clubs they offer. The event started in KPAC during first period with presentations and performances from admin, counseling, Kennedy ASB, JFK JROTC, Kennedy Singers, and more. A huge shout out to all the Fighting Irish who supported this event. Now let's look at Loera. For Loera, they recently honored Dr. John Dahlem by dedicating the Loera High School wrestling room in his name. Dr. Dahlem's impact on the Loera community is immeasurable. As a coach, he led the wrestling team to 10 league championships and a CIF title, instilling a culture of excellence and perseverance. As Loera High School's principal, he shaped the lives of countless students, leaving a lasting legacy in education. His influence continues to inspire both past and present generations of Saxons. Laura extends their heartfelt gratitude to the Dahlem family, wrestling alumni, current students, and the entire Saxon community for coming together to celebrate this momentous occasion. Now Magnolia. For Magnolia, their Sentinels are officially on their way with the girls playing their first CIF game against Valley High School. They also had a March to Magnolia where Dale Junior High 8th graders explored all that Magnolia has to offer. They welcomed these 8th graders with a beautiful assembly, and they were able to sign up for clubs, sports, and electives. Way to prepare for the future students, Magnolia. Now let's move on to Oxford. Oxford Academy's FBLA secured first place in sweepstakes again, continuing the record since 2018. They also had their serve-a-thon, where many of the clubs participated in the district's annual serve-a-thon event, participating in birdhouse painting, PB&J making, emergency kit establishment, and many more. Now for Savannah. Savannah's ROP Medical Academy students had the chance to show off their skills to the superintendent of ROP, administrators, and CSUF through a walkthrough of their class. Savannah also hosted its Steps to Savannah event, where Brookhurst students were guided by Savannah's own students, allowing them to explore the various programs and clubs offered at Savannah. Now finally, let's look at Western. Western would like to highlight their Japanese student visit, where they helped them give presentations to the school on Japanese culture. They also had their walk to Western, where they greeted Orangeview students and showed all of their extracurricular programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. Nicely done. So next we have recognition of some associations. We have Mr. James Goran from ASTA, Jennifer Sasai from ALTA. Do we have any other? No, nothing?
Lacey Munger.
Thank you. I'm looking right at her, Lacey. Thank you. Lacey Munger from APGA, and we have Dr. Leah Hallstrom, administrator from ROP. So thank you for being here, Leah. So next is reports from associations. Mr. Goran, do you have a report?
Good evening, Board, Mr. Matsuda, and Cabinet. My name is James Goran, ASTA Vice President, and I'm here on behalf of Jeff Morgenstern. He's on a Community Schools Conference. As you know, Orangeview and Western will be going through a consolidation process. ASTA would like to share with you key highlights of our Western Orangeview Consolidation MOU proposal that we shared with the district on January 24th. I have Sean Fleshman from Orangeview and Wendy Kreiner from Western High School to share details.
Hello, thank you. Hi, Cabinet and Board, Student Representative, hello. I've been teaching at Orangeview for 26 years. So during this time, I built a connection to this community, and now I actually find my former students coming up and telling me, hey, here's my new student of yours, my daughter, my son. So I've been there quite the time. And I value this community, and I have great hopes for what this consolidation can achieve for the students. I was glad to see, as a community schools teacher lead, that we involved the parents, the students, we had the community members coming to help us as we had this vision for our redesign. I was a participant in the redesign meetings and partnered with parents to discuss their concerns and share ideas. Board Member Hoshi, as well, I would like to acknowledge you, and I was glad that you were able to represent the board and be a part of this process. So thank you. In town hall meetings and with coffees with the principal, and district leadership have made promises to our families and that their children will be provided with in-device and attention, smaller learning communities, and a strong relationship with teachers. At these town hall meetings, I spoke with parents, and they expressed their excitement, really, and their ideas they heard and how their students would benefit from these promising practices. In order to achieve this for our students, our MOU proposal requests smaller size guarantees and smaller student loads. Because of the unique circumstances of teaching and supporting such a diverse class of proficiencies, learning styles, and backgrounds, teachers need a manageable and sustainable workload. The innovative components of the redesign require more individual attention to each student to help them achieve their potential. We need an intentional commitment to make this a success. Ms. Kreiner.
Good evening. I've been a part of the Pioneer family since September of 2000, and my heart lives in this community. I can't imagine being a part of any other community. This is my family. Our teachers have been pivotal in this reimagining of our education system and will now be critical in how we implement these shifts in order to create a dynamic, student-centered approach that fosters deeper learning, stronger relationships, and a more supportive environment for both students and staff. We need to ensure that teachers' time is protected. Our proposal asks for designated time for teachers to collaborate in order to support students' individual needs, discuss effective instructional approaches and strategies, and develop learning plans to support all students. We are building an innovative system for our students, and we need time to do that. Additionally, teachers will be shifting our practice to a block schedule and incorporate additional services. Teachers need time to develop their skills while effectively supporting student needs. No doubt this will create a challenge in staffing, but we are requesting to limit the number of new courses assigned to teachers, which will provide consistency with our programs and curriculum. By moving teachers into new courses, we risk losing our veteran teachers that are trained and experienced in those services. We need to maintain the instruction and guidance provided by our teachers that our students and families rely on.
So again, we appreciate our opportunity to share our proposal with you. We have a unique opportunity to create a stronger, more student-centered learning environment through this consolidation. However, now is the time to fulfill those promises made to our families. It is imperative that teachers be provided with the necessary time, support, and resources.
We urge the board to honor these commitments by supporting our MOU proposal and uphold the class size guarantees, teacher collaboration time, and program consistency. We must work together to build a sustainable and innovative system that truly meets the needs of our students, teachers, and families. We look forward to hearing the district's response. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your presentation. Lacey?
Good evening, AUHSD School Board, Mr. O'Neill, Mr. Matsuda, Executive Cabinet, and community members. I'd like to begin by recognizing that last week was National School Counseling Week, a time to celebrate the hard work and dedication of our AUHSD school counselors. While a single week doesn't define the impact of their work, it is meaningful to see the profession acknowledged and appreciated, so thank you. Throughout the district, counselors were celebrated, and APJ would like to extend a special thank you to Mr. Brian O'Neill for joining our all-counselor professional development meeting on January 31st to help honor our AUHSD Counselor of the Year, Michael Seltzer. Additionally, I'd like to recognize Mr. Ron Hoshi for making time to personally visit counselors in his district area and at the district office to show his appreciation for their commitment to our students. To all of our counselors, thank you for the invaluable role you play in supporting, guiding, and empowering our students every day. Each month, APGA aims to share data with you to illustrate the impact of school counselors that we have on our students and their families. However, tonight, I wanted to take a step back from the numbers and highlight a fundamental truth that counselors are at the heart of education in ways that extend far beyond data points. Counselors are academics, college and career advisors, and social emotional support providers all at once. Our value lies in executing a comprehensive counseling program that seamlessly integrates these three areas because they are not separate from each other. While various groups within the school system may focus on one of these domains, counselors are the only professionals on campus who work with all three. Counselors are the only group on a campus who meet with every student every year, identifying the underlying challenges they may face. The 27,000 students in AUHSD don't begin their academic journey until they meet with a school counselor who develops their educational plan before they ever step into a classroom to meet their teachers. A financial aid application for a senior doesn't get completed without a counselor guiding them through their FSA ID and college spending options. And even though I said I was not going to say anything about data, I will put this point in right now. To this day, at this time, we are at a 30% completion rate with our financial aid application, which is above what we were last year at this time. So our counselors are working very hard with our seniors to get their financial aid applications completed during these times that can be tumultuous for many of our families. Lastly, a social worker does not meet with a student unless a counselor has first uncovered a need that needs to be met. Counseling is not just a service, it is a foundational pillar of student success. Our work bridges gaps, removes barriers, and empowers students to reach their full potential. And the only way that happens is through a comprehensive counseling program. So what I would like to encourage you to do, as APJ continues to provide updates and data, and you continue to visit our school campuses, is take some time to really understand how we collect our data and what it is that we are truly trying to show you. Because the reality is, there is no other group on an AUHSD campus that meets a student's needs the way a school counselor does. Thank you for your ongoing support of our AUHSD counselors and the critical role they play in shaping our students' success. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Sasai?
Good evening, President O'Neill, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Matsuda, Executive Cabinet, students, parents, and community joining us in person and online. The Local Control Accountability Plan, the LCAP, season officially commenced district-wide last Thursday. Our stakeholders are encouraged to participate in this important process, ensuring that their voices contribute to shaping the future of our schools. Open houses are happening throughout the district, providing families with the opportunities to learn more about our schools and programs. Additionally, registration for the upcoming school year is in full swing. Last week, Loera High School warmly welcomed Ball Junior High's 8th graders for Launch to Loera, an engaging event designed to introduce students to Saxon life. The event featured comprehensive campus tours, an activity fair showcasing various school programs, and a lively pep assembly to build excitement for their upcoming high school journey. In athletics, Loera continues to demonstrate excellence with the wrestling, girls basketball, and girls soccer teams all earning spots in the CIF playoffs. Go Saxons. On Thursday, February 8th, the Brookhurst Advanced Band had the incredible opportunity to visit Disneyland and participate in the Disney Soundtrack Workshop. During this unique experience, students gained insight into the professional recording process, learning how musicians prepare for recording songs used in beloved Disney films. The highlight of the workshop was when students recorded their own soundtrack to accompany a Disney film, making it a truly memorable and educational experience. Kennedy High School Staff Development Day on January 31st featured an inspiring keynote address by educational technology consultant Ken Shelton. The day's professional development sessions focused on the role of artificial intelligence in education, emphasizing how AI can amplify student voices, personalize learning, and foster inclusive teaching practices. Educators engaged in hands-on activities using AI tools to design learning experiences that reflect students' lived experiences while preparing them to be ethical and critical users of AI. Cypress High School Staff Development Day on January 31st was a visioning day with over 80 students, the entire staff, parents and community partners. An assembly of over 300 stakeholders came together to envision the future of Cypress High School, answering questions like, what qualities do you envision for a Cypress student walking across the stage at graduation? These initiatives highlight our district's ongoing commitment to academic excellence, student engagement, and innovative learning opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. I haven't been notified, but has Don Crote? Nope, not yet. Okay, just checking. Is a PTA representative in the audience this evening? Oh, Doris. Hi. Would you come forward?
Good evening. I just wanted to say that we have an upcoming bingo the 19th for Founders Day. And then we have a March 26th, we have a dinner. And April 23rd, we have a dinner. And also we're planning a fentanyl awareness coming up pretty soon.
But when will that be? Have you had it on the calendar yet?
We don't have it on the calendar yet. We're
Okay.
still in planning.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, we'll move on to presentations. Mr. Saldivar.
Yes, thank you, President O'Neill. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Seema Sidhu, our Director of Learning and Development, who will be providing you with our LCAP mid-year update. Before she begins, I'd like to share that Dr. Sidhu has already been working tirelessly in preparation for this year's LCAP process, which is an opportunity for our community to come together over the course of 5 LCAP meetings and review our district's progress in developing recommendations based on identified needs and metrics. So tonight's mid-year update serves as a brief snapshot for our board on where we currently stand as we begin this annual journey. So without further ado, Dr. Seema Sidhu.
Thank you, Mr. Saldivar. Okay, I appreciate your support with all things LCAP. Good evening, Board President, Mr. O'Neill, Board of Trustees, Cabinet, Superintendent Matsuda, everyone watching and here in person tonight. It is my pleasure to provide you with a mid-year local control and accountability plan, or LCAP for short, update. Before I do that, I want to first take a moment and acknowledge the work of our board and cabinet for laying the foundation to a robust LCAP process where educational partners' voices can be elevated. I also want to thank Joe Carmona, probably drive him crazy, for his assistance and support. I am truly grateful for his leadership and mentorship through this process and just being new at this and learning. First, I would like to provide you with some background information. Section 61 of Senate Bill 114 requires districts to present an update to the current year LCAP, which includes all available mid-year outcome data related to metrics identified in the LCAP and mid-year expenditures also identified in the LCAP. The purpose of tonight's presentation is to provide a brief update on metrics and expenditures. The LCAP is a 3-year plan that is updated annually. We are beginning a new 3-year cycle this year, and we have started our LCAP educational partner engagement process. Our district's core values help us achieve our vision and mission, and through the LCAP process, we are able to ensure that we are doing what is best for our students and families. Here's a brief budget overview. This chart outlines our budget items, our projected 2024-25 adopted budget amounts, which were presented to the board in June of 2024. Next to that, we have outlined our actual budget amounts, which are based on the first interim followed by the difference. This information is available in the first interim report, which was presented at the December 2024 meeting by Dr. Nian. As you can see, there is a difference between our actual budget amount and projected adopted budget amount for 2024-2025. The adopted budget is a projection of what we know at that time. At the time of the first interim in December, we are updating the budget with the new assumptions, and we are also adjusting the revenue for carryover, new grants, and new grants that have been awarded. The budget assumptions information can also be found in the first interim report, which I have here if anyone would like a copy. So, I know this is not very fun, but try to make it fun. In AUHSD, we utilize our local control and accountability plan and educational partner engagement process to develop our goals, our actions, and measures. It serves as a plan for continuous improvement where we can measure academic performance, data, surveys, district indicators, and gather input from various educational partners, such as our students, our staff, and our parents, because their perspectives and feedback provide valuable insights into the program's effectiveness. Now I will highlight data that was not yet available during the LCAP adoption in June and some real-time data that we have captured for fall in this school year. So we're going to start with goal 1. Our district graduation rate has maintained at over 90%, which is above the state average. We continue to make progress in graduation rates for our English learners, students with disabilities, and foster youth. Similarly, our A through G rates, also above the state average, demonstrate a slight increase overall for our socioeconomically disadvantaged students, English learners, and we will continue to focus our efforts for our students with disabilities and foster youth. Here you can see our standardized test scores. Now, as you know, we do not rely solely on standardized test scores to demonstrate the full depth of student learning. However, it is a state mandate, and we acknowledge that we will continue to work towards our goals and supporting our students in these areas as well. We believe that by analyzing student performance, post-graduation outcomes, and feedback from our educational partners, we can better assess our programs and highlight our student progress overall. Okay, here is an example of that on this slide. From our class of 2024, most recent graduates, 68.1% of graduates enrolled in post-secondary options immediately after graduation. 43.4% enrolled in two-year colleges, and 24.6% enrolled in four-year colleges and universities. We are proud to share that our persistence rate and college GPAs have significantly and consistently outperformed college averages. Overall, the percentage of students who completed at least one CTE pathway and fulfilled A through G requirements has also increased. We will continue to increase our efforts for our specific student groups. AUHSD is also ranked number 2 in the county for CTE completion and ranked number 1 in the state for graduates receiving the state seal of civic engagement, which speaks to our mission to graduate socially aware, civic-minded students who are life ready. We are also seeing progress in meeting our desired outcomes when it comes to serving our plurilingual students. So as you can see, in 2023-24, the class reclassification rate was 12%, and the percent of plurilingual students who scored level 4, which is the highest, on the LCAP was at 12.85%. Also worth noting and celebrating is that AUHSD is ranked number 2 in the county in state seals of biliteracy. Now we're moving on to goal number 2 in the LCAP. At AUHSD, we strive to provide meaningful educational engagement opportunities for all parents and families. In the fall semester alone, we had over 12,000 families served via food and/or care packages. We had 434 parents total at the Anaheim Collaborative Family Summit, one held at Cal State Fullerton, and one was held at Fullerton College. In addition, our community schools model and approach to learning provides opportunities for our students, families, and staff to connect and work together to expand experiences and address the needs of the whole child. As a demonstration district, we are a model to many. We have coordinated several leading and learning visits where we have been able to showcase the assets of our students, parents, and schools. Our guests have left inspired when they see our community school model through the lens of the classroom experience and as evidenced in our performance task assessments, PTAs, student engagement in the classroom, on campus, and student voice. Thus far, we have had 75 different districts and organizations pay us a visit and close to 400 guests. LCAP Goal 3 focuses on providing and nurturing a safe, positive, and inclusive school culture that is responsive to the assets and needs of all students. Our attendance rate for the first semester, this is a correction, is actually 92.7%. All sites have been diligently focusing their efforts on attendance and are working hard at implementing the attendance task force recommendations. And you can see the difference between 23-24 and our current year. First semester. A safe and positive school culture is being supported through ongoing collaboration with the goal of decreasing our suspension rates, maintaining our campus safety aids, and focusing our efforts on school safety. Okay. As you can see, we are making good progress on meeting and exceeding our desired outcomes. In the same way, we are utilizing our planned resources and expenditures to support our work. We held our first LCAP meeting on February 6th with approximately 300 in attendance despite the rain and despite the challenges that some of our families are facing. It was a diverse mix of students, staff, parents, and community members. And here's just a little snapshot of some images. I think people overall enjoyed the first meeting. We have our second meeting coming up next Thursday. I would like to close with this quote and have you reflect on the current state of public education. Public education is an investment in our future because it is an investment in our students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Sadu. Does the board have any questions? Stick
No,
around.
that's okay.
Thank you for this presentation. Page 4 talked about a step for CTE pathways. I didn't first or second about number 2 in this.
Number 2 in the county.
County.
I'm sorry,
County.
Number 2 in the county, yes.
Would you mind outlining just a quick, the LCAP process, outlining what you do on each, each week, the parents meeting, the students meeting?
That's a great question. I was actually working on that today. So the first meeting is supposed to be really an overview and a kickoff, and really with the focus of getting everyone engaged with the LCAP process. What should happen there, right, which is I think what did happen, is really try to get people to think about the state of education, our district, to share and tell our story, right? And to kind of lay the foundation of the LCAP process. You know, it's important to also note with that some districts only give a survey. There's just a survey that's sent out and that's all you get. I've been in 2 different districts. I didn't even know what LCAP was, you know, or I just completed the survey. So it's really an opportunity at the first meeting to get together, to collaborate, to engage, you know, to enjoy some food, right? It's like bread breaking, and to get ready for this process, to give an overview of the process. Meeting number 2 is where we get to focus on the data. So in focus groups, our parents, students, staff, right? Everyone's gonna come together and review our data. This year, we're gonna do a little bit of an overview of, you know, how to look at this data, what are we looking at, what is trend data, and then talk about how have we improved? What is the data telling us and showing us? What are some things to celebrate? So that's really going to be meeting number 2. Meeting number 3, we're going to look at the actions that are already in our LCAP. So the LCAP was approved in June. So we're going to look at the actions that are in the LCAP to see what is already being addressed, how it's being addressed, and then also come up with some recommendations. What do we want to see more of perhaps, right? And what is working well? And then at the final meeting, we really need to come together. Everyone will share their recommendations, and then we'll come up with a consensus in terms of what to actually draft. I get the pleasure of writing the LCAP, and so I would love, you know, this is an opportunity to incorporate our students' voices, our parents and families, our community partners, our staff, really their voices, and gather their input and recommendations for our 25-26 LCAP. So that is truly the process. And I get to draft it, present again in June, and then have the LCAP board approved.
And in the past, there have been folks that were a little critical of, you know, they don't understand how extensive AUHSD process has been, but folks have, not knowing that information, but been a little critical about gathering like students and parents that have no idea what this is. So what have we done to prepare our students and our parents, give them a little bit of education before we take this process, because it can be a little intimidating.
It is a lot, and it can be really overwhelming. So we met actually with the student ambassadors. Shout out to the student ambassadors who have done an amazing job with getting students to the LCAP. But then also we had a student workshop. We also had a parent workshop, which I think, that's something that I would like to work on next year, is getting more parents and students at these workshops, because they get a preview of what the LCAP process is, and especially if it's their first time, kind of go over more information, give them the background, the process, expectations, their role in the LCAP process. So I'm definitely going to work on that for next year. I'm also working on creating a video, because a lot of people gave me feedback and said they weren't able to make it to the first meeting, but they want to make it to the focus group meetings and really be a part of this process. So I said, well, why not make a video to explain what the LCAP is, LCFF, and then also send out information on the 8 state priorities. I talked to some parents afterward, after the first meeting, so they'd love to get that information. I'm planning on sending it out and then having them sign up for the focus groups and give them more descriptions of the focus groups. So, 'cause I was a little rushed at the first meeting, so we're gonna work on that and slow it down. And then also in terms of the meetings and the structure, I'm gonna try to scaffold it a little bit more and give them a little bit more of information, even terms and definitions, and how are we looking at this data? Because if you're not used to looking at it, you're like, what am I looking at and what am I looking for? And how can I, have my voice heard? So I think that's what we're trying to work on.
Okay, fantastic.
If I may, we also have we're fortunate to have a partnership with OCO, who also
yes.
helps to provide workshops for our parents, additional workshops in between each of our LCAP meetings,
Yes.
where our parents have the space to ask clarifying questions, additional questions regarding the data, regarding whatever it is that they were exposed to in the previous LCAP meeting. So that's just another layer of
Another
support
layer,
for our parents as well.
And maybe they're a little intimidated at our meeting, but at that meeting, they can feel a little bit safer.
Exactly.
I love
And
that
it also
idea.
helps to build their capacity, so there's more confidence at the next upcoming meetings to ask additional questions, to be a little more engaged if need be. So
All right,
Yeah,
shout
they
out
actually
to
asked,
Uncle.
they didn't ask, but basically we're not there. We're there to make sure, everything's set up for them. They meet here at the district office, but you don't have district folks there. It's really OCO and then our parents that are there that can then debrief and, have honest conversations and really prepare to participate in the meetings.
Fantastic, thank you.
I do want to acknowledge Dr. Sadhu, because I was at that student workshop, and the ambassadors did a great job at recruiting. If you went to the LCAP meeting, the first one, we had great student representation, and also I know that you worked with our faces to get parents there, and we had great representation from our parents from PTSA and across the district. So we're really getting authentic feedback, and it's just not through surveys. A lot of people do get their feedback strictly through surveys, but we get to hear people. And if you go to the second and third meetings, you'll see a lot of students getting up and presenting. And I think that's kind of like one of the highlights for me. So Dr. Sadhu, thank you so much for your hard work, because I know to do the presentations for the students and for the parents, it takes extra time. And I want to thank Mrs. Vasquez and Mrs. Brown too for the ambassadors and working with their respective RSVP advisors to get a lot of students involved. Student voice is really important to us.
I want to echo my colleagues. Thank you for all your work. I was able to attend the first LCAP meeting. I know a few of us were there as well. I just wanted to make a plug that we have free bus ride transportation for all of the LCAP meetings from our school sites. So please check the schedule online. I know it's also sent out via our Aries or communications, and then free childcare during all our meetings, and then free, translation as well, right?
Yes. Translation services will be provided even for the small focus group, they're not small, but the focus groups that we have, we will have translation. And so again, making improvements, right? We make mistakes, we learn, we grow. So now on the communication that we're sending out, we'll make sure we put where the bus will actually be, because sometimes the route might be a little different, and then students, or parents, family members are looking for, where the buses are. So just little things like that. So I'm adding that, and then we'll resend out the information for sure and make sure everyone attends, as many people as possible.
Great, thank you so much.
Dr. Sadhu, what languages are we translating?
So we are required for, Spanish, but we always have, well, I don't want to say always, we do have Korean and Vietnamese. It also depends on, the availability, but that's mainly what we have at these meetings.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I have to give, where's Brian Belsky? Because I think he's next.
No.
Oh, no? Okay, well, whenever he comes up
Don't
here.
set him up.
My presentation's very plain. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing his presentation. It's pretty cool. So.
I think we have a recognition. I think Mr. Crote has walked in the door. So, board? Yes, please come forward, Mr. Crote. Please go over there. So we're recognizing Donald Crote Partnerships, Inc., DKP, which has provided professional architectural and engineering services since 1974. The firm has specialized in the design and rehabilitation of public work for commercial, municipal, and educational facilities in excess of $1 billion in construction costs. More than 50 buildings are members of the National Register of Historic Places. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, we would like to recognize and thank Don Crote for the generous donation of $6,000. Accepting the recognition on behalf of DKP is architect Donald Crote, AIA, principal and president of the firm. Thank you so much.
I was really flattered to be invited to be recognized, and it really is a great thought and gesture that you've made thanking me for this, and I appreciate it. I was really moved by the presentation just prior, and in a way, glad I was late, because the contribution that we all make for public education is the investment in the future that we all imagine. It's very real. And it's not just this community, it's all the communities in which I work and that you see. So thank you again very much.
Okay, Mr. Saldivar.
Yes, so as our board knows, our district has long recognized the value of arts education in preparing our students for college, life, and career success. So it's no surprise that we have prestigious VAPA programs across our district that are year in and year out winning awards and different accolades. So what we have today is it's my pleasure now to introduce Mr. Brian Belsky, our Director of Arts Education, who will be providing a brief update on the current state and future for arts education in our district.
Okay, and just before he comes up, thank you for the introduction.
Yeah.
But we have a speaker for this item, and Shannon Zimmer. No, you come before.
Good evening, Board, President, Cabinet. I just want to say that I have a lot of hats I wear. You've seen me before. I'm Shannon Zimmer. I'm the Arts Now Ambassador to Orange County from Create, California. But you are my home district, and so you are where my heart is. My mother went to Kennedy High School. My son went to Kennedy High School. I went to Kennedy High School. We have a lot of history in this district. My daughter went to Oxford, so we don't hold it against her. I actually had Ron Hoshi as a choir teacher
a while ago.
Oh, thank you.
Not very long ago. We're young. I would just like to say, first, I want to thank, one of the hats I wear is I have worked as a case manager with social workers, and I often send people to the AUHSD website as a source of resources for our community. And I want to thank our district for being so supportive of our community in need. But tonight I'm here actually to support Brian Belsky and his strategic arts plan proposal that's going to be presented to you. I am so excited about this. As you know, I've been here many times before you talking about the arts and the value of the arts as a career path and as an important aspect of life. The skills learned through the arts prepare you for all sorts of things through life that we don't even realize until we're a little bit older. And I am particularly excited about the strategic arts plan because of its comprehensive nature. It includes things, one of the things I really want to highlight, and I'm assuming Brian will, and I was just going to do it after the fact, but as I'm here first, the Student Arts Council. I am so excited about this aspect of student voice in our Arts Council around our district. I will tell you that I actually work through in partnership with Arts Orange County and the Orange County Department of Education, training parent leaders and working with school districts around the county.
You're okay.
And I'll just say very quickly, I send them here to see a good example of our LCAP process. So I also want to add that. The LCAPs in our district are an example for everybody. So as my time is up, it seems, I will leave you, but thank you very much. Thank you for being such a supportive district for the arts, and I really hope this support will continue, and bravo to Brian for the presentation in advance that you're going to be so impressed with.
All right, Mr. Belsky, now you've been put on the spot.
This better not be terrible.
We'll grade you.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'll go off script for just a minute. Talk about the support that we have for arts education in Anaheim Union. A lot of folks look to what we do here as an example, not the work that I'm doing as much as the work that we all do together to support our students. That LCAP process is no joke here in Anaheim Union, sort of legacy of Manuel Colon and the things that he left behind as well in this district. As a parent in another district, it's a wonderful thing to see students and teachers and community members and parents engaged in the process and truly having a voice that matters in the outcome, the educational outcomes of their students. So I'm grateful. So thanks to the board for their continuing support of arts education. We've had at least 4 major events, like in the last 3 weeks, and there have been multiple board members at every single one of our events, whether it was Honor Band or Choral Showcase, an event yesterday with the Save the Music Foundation, an event last night down at the county for the Orange County Music and Arts Administrators Awards. Also shout out, congratulations to Joe Carmona, our controller. Received an award last night for his work in supporting arts education through developing the systems and structures for how we're able to move very, very quickly in our adoption of Proposition 28 and staying true to the bill text and staying true to the guidelines that are contained within the Arts, Music, and Schools Act that were passed by Prop 28. So I'm grateful to be here. So much support from teachers and board members, superintendent, cabinet. I'm just grateful to be here. So, okay, into this report. This is really 3 reports in one. So it's I'm going to hit highlights. I'm not going to get into details. If you have questions, I'm here to answer them. So here we go. This first slide comes from, these are some highlights, some bullet points that I put in. from the position statement that was created by our Strategic Arts Plan Revisioning Committee. It was comprised of over 45 students, parents, teachers, administrators, district administrators, cabinet members, board members. It was a 360 view on arts education. And I'm actually going to read the position statement because it says everything about why we do what we do in arts education. And I'm just going to go for it. The arts are not optional. They are essential. Arts education is a critical component of a well-rounded education, equipping students with the creative, cognitive, and technical skills needed to thrive in an ever-evolving world. It's not a luxury or an extracurricular add-on. It is a fundamental right that fosters innovation, builds community, and prepares students for success in both life and career. Arts education integrates all elements of the Career Preparedness Systems Framework, the CPSF here in AUHSD. It encompasses a wide range of technical and transferable skills. It reinforces the 5 Cs, embeds equitable decision-making, and encourages student agency in all 4 artistic processes. That's from our new state framework and art standards, the 4 processes that we use in arts education: creating, presenting, responding, and connecting. That is the essence of what we do in the arts. Arts courses provide asset-based environments where creativity is honed through self-expression and visual performing arts. Students' cultural and life experiences are affirmed through the pedagogy, through the materials, and the performance and the presentation of their experiences in the arts. Arts-rich environments also support students' well-being by promoting social-emotional learning, self-awareness, empathy, and resilience. The arts build community, collaborative experiences, connect students from diverse backgrounds and ability levels, fostering a sense of belonging and shared purpose. Sequential, standards-based arts learning, how many times has the board heard me say that over the last 5 years, empowers the next generation of designers, creators, and performers to be stewards of their local and their global communities. And the research is clear. Arts education drives student success. Schools with robust arts programs, they see lower chronic absenteeism, they see higher engagement, they see improved academic performance. Students involved in the arts are more likely to graduate, they're more likely to pursue higher education, more likely to develop the problem-solving, adaptability, and leadership skills that are necessary for the modern workforce. Arts education is particularly impactful for English learners, students with disabilities, foster youth, and those from socioeconomically disadvantaged backgrounds, helping them also build community, resilience, confidence, and a sense of identity. The arts prepare students for the future. California's $650 billion creative industry encompasses more than 2.7 million jobs, offering real career pathways for AUHSD students. Arts education equips students with highly refined technical skills while also developing their ability to self-advocate, collaborate, and lead in industries that value innovation and adaptability. And moreover, creating art is a deeply personal experience. Students draw upon their understandings and their resources to bring ideas to life. The arts develop young people's abilities to express their personal vision and communicate it to others. Arts education in AUHSD is more than learning a craft. It's about helping students connect with themselves, connect with each other, and connect their limitless potential. We're here to help them discover their unlimited you. Thank you. So that's my position. That's our position statement. It will be in the draft of the student. It's in the draft of the Strategic Arts Plan that you'll look at for adoption at next month's board meeting. And I want to jump a little bit into an overview of AUHSD arts programs. Here on the screen, there are we have 32 arts focus areas across the district. Now, I'll put up here on the list is concert bands, but we're talking about Band 1 in 7th grade, or Band 1 and 2 in junior high school. We're also talking about at the high school level, concert band, symphonic band, wind ensemble. That's all contained there in like that one bullet point of concert bands on that line. So these are just the focus areas. We have 87 sections being taught across the district, 30 different courses at the junior high level, 277 sections of 83 different courses at the high school level being taught across the district. We have 11,500 students, which is a little bit different than the data we had before. We actually thought the number was a little bit different. And as we get, and I'll talk a little bit in a minute about data, but Eric Greenwood's team, along with Jason Jones and Danny Juarez, the work that they have done to help us begin to build an arts dashboard to be able to track not just grades and not just attendance and all that kind of stuff, but looking at real data like, 10-year, 12-year look at enrollment in different curricular areas, different focus areas, matriculation rates, how many folks are actually going from an 8th grade to a 9th grade arts program, persistence, more than, it is so cool to begin to actually look at the things that we have had to dive in and look at kind of weird ways to get to the data over the years, but I'm really, really excited. I'm excited about data. It's crazy, but I really am because it's given us, we act on what we believe to be true and we go after and try to find what's true. It is so nice to be able to look and just see what is and not have to try to figure out how you're going to get to the answer. So my thanks to Eric and his team. We have 95 full-time credentialed arts teachers. We have 200 part-time arts assistants that we have hired through classified HR, courtesy of the Arts, Music, and Schools. We'll get to that in a minute. All of these non-arts outcomes that are addressed by arts education. Chronic absenteeism. There's, there are students who are in schools who are in arts in schools that have greater access to the arts, significantly less likely to be chronically absent. The arts incentivize student attendance. They maximize student engagement. We look at suspension rates. In California, art students were 20% less likely to have an out-of-school suspension for every single year of arts studied. The citation is down there. I've actually got one that's got a QR code, but I didn't get it in time to when I got it for the board. So, but that link does work, so you can kind of check some of this stuff out. But all of these things are addressed, and there's positive outcomes for arts education, multiple research studies. But because I want to keep the board meeting moving, I'm going to move to the next slide. A lot of questions about arts and music in schools, or Prop 28. Arts and Music in Schools Act was a public mandate, a 66% yes vote from the California voters. The idea is that it is to supplement and not supplant existing funding. It is for new arts experiences or to expand arts education for the students of California. I love our district's approach to this. It's been a hard no on supplanting. Anybody has an idea of, oh, well, maybe we could move, we can do this with these funds and we can move, we're not talking about moving around money to be able to pay for something that was already happening before. If we're paying for it with Proposition 28 money, this arts, music, and schools money, it is something that is new. It is a new experience. It is a new coach. It's a new choreographer. It's a new accompanist. It's a new clarinet coach. It's a new marching instructor. It's somebody to work on drawing and painting, ceramics, photography that are in the classrooms. These are part-time classified employees, arts assistants. Yes, sir.
I got a quick question, Brian. You make a really important point in terms of this distinction between supplanting and supplementing. How does our district, in your opinion, stack up to other districts in that approach?
It is I'm very confident that we are upholding the bill text of Prop 28. There have been, I am aware of some things that have happened in some other districts, some of them quite publicly recently. of where some of this funding has been used to transfer a teacher from the general fund who was paid, they've been there teaching 3 years for music, and well, now we have Prop 28, so we can pay them out of Prop 28, and then we can move that general fund over to another teacher. That was a hard no from the beginning for what we do in the district. Like nobody, there were questions asked, I think, of course, of like, well, can we do this? And the answer was, well, no, we're not going to do that. And supplant means to replace, and we're not going to replace any of our existing funding, whether it's through general fund, whether it's through LCFF, whether it's through Title I, II, or Title IV. None of that money we're not doing anything with Proposition 28 money that we would have done otherwise or that we were doing before. And I'm really confident about that. Joe Carmona, again, our controller, has been a strict guardian of those things. He's given very clear instructions, not just to me, but to every single site administrator in the district about what can and cannot be done, and the message has been clear. So I'm confident. The money is allocated by site. They can pool their funds. They can't transfer money from one site to another. We can't use funding that was allocated to one site and say, well, now they're not gonna use it, we're gonna push it over there. They can pool resources though. Like for example, we have an example where 2 campuses are sharing a teacher, and that was part of that teacher is being paid for out of Prop 28 from one site. The rest of that teacher's salary is being paid out of Prop 28 from the other site. And we're only interested in, when we're talking about adding staffing, which is that next bullet point, that means folks who are actually working with students, folks who are actually like providing education, providing arts instruction. It's a minimum of 80% of the funding has to be used for staffing, a maximum of 20% for other expenses. It's a very limited scope of what we're able to spend that on, and that's great, honestly. We're not having a problem spending the money. We're not having a problem spending it within the guardrails provided by the Department of Education and the state, because as soon as the voters passed it, it became part of the state constitution, right? It's 1% of the Prop 98 minimum funding guarantee. The district gets 100% of its funding guarantee, and then we get another 1% on top of that. That is additional funding for arts instruction. That's the way that they funded the Arts, Music, and Schools Act through Prop 28, and it wasn't through adding taxes, which was beautiful.
Mr. Belsky, I have a quick question.
Yep.
When you say it's allocated by site, is that the enrollment of the student body? And then there's versus, and then my question is, if there weren't programs and we needed to expand that program or create a program that is needed at that school site, so I wanted to find out a little bit more about that allocation by site.
Sure, it's 70% of the funding, the way that the funding model is generated. 70% of what is going to ultimately be spent goes based strictly on the student enrollment at the school site. Now,
not the current participation of the students in the arts.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It is purely based on the student enrollment at the campus. It's not based on arts enrollment. And that's a good question. Then beyond that, the remaining 30% of the funds are allocated based upon schools that have their Title I schools, free and reduced lunch. They have additional needs, socioeconomic needs. There's a sort of a 30% of the funding is really sort of an additional bonus on top of that 70% baseline funding to help provide students funding for those students at schools that may need additional support. Traditionally, the reason behind that, traditionally the students at schools with families with low socioeconomic status, students that have low socioeconomic status tend to have less access to arts education throughout their upbringing. They tend to have less access to it in the home. They tend to have less access to things like outside lessons and dance classes and those kinds of things. And it is very, very important to try to provide opportunities for students to have a broad arts education within their school day.
And then the remaining funds that are not used on staff, can they be used for facilities or
No.
no? Okay, or for equipment?
Equipment, yes. The 20% is for other expenses. It can go to equipment. It also goes to professional learning. It also goes to anything that is expanding those experience. We're sending students on field trips to see professional production or a concert of like, here's what this would really, this is the sound we want to get you in your, to have in your head when you're beginning to work on a performance. That's something that we were never able to do before. So I'm grateful. And we have 3 years to spend each single year's allocation. I've talked about all of this. These are all the things that we've done. So the questions that you have asked have led me through all of these slides. We have expanded staffing. We have 200 plus, 220 something, I think, part-time classified employees that their classification is arts assistants, and they are in classrooms. They are working with kids. You go to any campus and you will see the teacher. And most days if you're there, especially if you're there for a couple of periods, you're going to see somebody, maybe one, maybe two, maybe three people that are coming in and working and providing some real detailed level instruction of what's actually happening in that class. You're talking about clarinet coaches. We're talking about choir directors that have the ability to get out from behind the piano and actually go on the other side of the piano because there's an accompanist there now, and they're actually able to teach voice. They're actually able to really hear what is happening because they're not there pounding away at the piano, which is part of what's happened, in choir, because we haven't had the funding to have somebody in there to be able to do that all the time. And the proof shows up in performances like at the Choral Showcase. Those of you that were there, you heard the quality of those ensembles. It's not even close to what we had even just a year ago. And it was the same. It's the same thing with the honor band. If you went to the honor band concert, you heard things that we took a huge hit in 2020 in the performing arts in terms of student enrollment. Visual art went way up. Students having trouble, they didn't really want to take a chance and put themselves out there in a performing arts kind of a setting. All those numbers are not only back, well, mostly back in some areas, but the quality, when you include what's happening with these arts instruction is, it's really tremendous, the experience that these kids are getting. This was the first time that the honor band and the honor choir sounded like they did, or even better than the before times, the pre-COVID years. How we're planning to use it: we're filling program gaps, improving course access, expanding course offerings, hiring teachers. That's the long game. It's a challenge to do that because in AUHSD, we're pretty well built out in arts education. We didn't cut arts teachers in 2007, 2008 when things got rough. The board dug in and said, no, we're not willing to do that. So we were pretty well built out. We do have gaps. There are campuses that don't have dance. There are campuses that don't have choir. There are campuses that don't have theater. There are no campuses that don't have instrumental music. There are no campuses that don't have visual art. But the other three areas we need to address. We're not trying to do everything all at once. We're trying to be very strategic, and we're doing that in partnership with the site administrators and the VAPA department chair and all of the VAPA teachers on each campus. Okay. Strategic Arts Plan, Part 3. What is it? It's a bold, visionary, I believe, roadmap designed to transform the lives of our students through the power of the arts. With this plan, we're setting a stage for the future where every student's empowered to express themselves creatively. At the heart of the plan is a commitment to equitable access for all students, regardless of their background or circumstances. By creating pathways in visual and performing arts, we're not only preparing students for careers in the creative industries, we're providing them for the foundational skills that can draw on in any endeavor. There are 3 focus areas in this plan: content, infrastructure, and sustainability. And we can get into those a little bit, but again, it's a highlight of the plan tonight. We're committed to providing transformative experiences which cultivate creativity, foster cultural appreciation, and promote student agency while also building strong connections with the community. And that's what the Strategic Arts Plan is all about. That's kind of a funny AI graphic of what the Strategic Arts Plan looked like in my head. The planning committee, the reality is we were over in there in the PDC and across the parking lot, and we were doing our thing. But it really was, it was a diverse group. Like I said, board members. We had our County Office of Education Arts Coordinator. We had community members, some of them here, site administrators, district administrators, students and parents, teachers from every single campus, every single grade level, and every single curricular area contributed to the Strategic Arts Plan. Notably, I want to thank, well, in here, Anne-Marie Randall Trejo, board member who served on the Strategic Arts Revisioning Committee, and also former board member Anna Piercy, who attended all of our meetings and made sure to have my ear when she wanted to talk about something that she thought, maybe we could talk about this a little, maybe we can look at this a different way. Brian, maybe we want to talk, it was, you know, always that Anna thing. She was instrumental in the creation of this plan, and so I'm grateful to her and for her guidance in and out of the meetings. The introduction of the plan, it talks about the why behind it. There's a lot there. Board Policy 7605 on arts education, which we have a first reading on the board tonight, is included as part of the plan, which is why we moved the strategic plan to next month, so you could have a look at that board policy first. Focus Area 1. In each focus area, there are three strands. Focus Area 1 is content. This is all about ensuring every student has access to meaningful arts learning. There's a ton of initiatives in each one of these things. The key initiatives: aligning curriculum across schools for better pathways, expanding college and career connections through arts pathways that lead to real-world opportunities, and professional learning for teachers so that they can bring the most engaging and relevant arts experiences to students. This ensures that students get their technical skills, creativity, and self-expression needs met while connecting to the arts in their future careers. Focus Area 2 is about infrastructure. Strand 1, course access. Strand 2 is staffing and scheduling. Strand 3 is facilities and equipment. We're also focused on building all these necessary systems. This includes highlights: hiring additional support staff like accompanists, choreographers, instrumental coaches; improving course access so that more students can participate in sequential arts instruction without scheduling conflicts as much as possible; upgrading arts facilities and equipment, such as modernizing performance spaces, music rooms, and visual art studios. It's important to note, we did talk about Prop 28 is not facilities money. That doesn't mean we don't have plans for what we need in terms of facilities as a district. We do have those needs. Focus Area 3, sustainability. How are we going to keep this going? For long-term success, we need to sustain and grow our arts programs. This includes empowering student leadership. As Shannon Zemer brought up, the Youth Arts Council, which is something that we will launch next year, is sort of something that is akin to a student ambassadors group, which is focused on arts advocacy and addressing public policy and the decision makers around what art looks like in their community. So I'm very excited about that. And also through building community partnerships. We have partnerships with organizations like Backhouse Dance, Chance Theater, Laguna Art Museum, Save the Music Foundation that was there, the Drake Gives that was there yesterday, folks that are supporting our kids that are doing after-school programs or supporting through funding or grants. We also got another grant from the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation. So very excited with our partnerships. And exploring new funding streams, as well as leveraging Prop 28 funding and other state and federal funding. So we can enhance the resources, we can track progress. All of this to ensure that AUHSD programs remain strong and impactful. That's what we're doing currently. We're already working on curriculum alignment. There's a beautiful These two slides were out of order in what went to the board. Sorry, I put the future before the current. So, but the current, and this was another AI graphic, and this is like us getting on the already moving train of the arts plan. So the curriculum alignment is already in process. The instrumental music teachers, we had a pull-out day and met, and they worked on a 7 through 12 curriculum and working on alignment and development so we can have that and scale it out across campuses. Professional learning for our teachers, that's already happening. Monthly PLCs, we're also doing that through sending them to conferences in every single one of the curricular areas. Teachers have attended conferences. We've hired 2 arts curriculum specialists. Scott and Angela are killing it doing work supporting our teachers and being in the classrooms, and we're out every single week seeing how they can support. They're supporting district events, they're leading professional learning, they are really providing focused attention to support our teachers. Partnerships, data dashboards, all of these things that we talked about, these are all things that are in play right now. Future, more curriculum alignment outside of that, using that as a model. Courses and programs, more arts teachers, community involvement as we work on building that youth arts councils, adding some additional AIM partners. We have a couple of those that are waiting to have, they're just waiting for me to call and set up the meeting, I think. So I'm really looking forward to that with major players in the arts in Orange County and extracurricular programs, because not everything is going to be a section right off the bat. We may want to pilot something as an extracurricular to just gauge student interest for that program, to see how that is, to check that curriculum. As one that we want to add for our digital music production pathway that I met with a DJ when I was at the NAMM show. He actually has a DJ curriculum that he's teaching around the country and would love to come to AUHSD to help that be a component of what we're doing for digital music on their dime, the dime of a donor. So I'm excited about that too, anytime we can get stuff for and that's it. It went longer than I thought, but I mean, we got a lot of questions out of the way at first, right? So, my thanks and recognition for the systems that exist that supported arts education long before I got here to AUHSD in 2003, and hopefully we can leave it in better shape than we found it in when it's time for all of us to leave. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Any more? No.
I do, I'm sorry. When you were talking about the, you said 32 pathways, and then you said there were 30 sections in the junior high and 200 and something for the high school.
We have, at the junior high school, we have 30 different courses being taught, but there's 87 sections.
Okay, 87 sections.
Of 30 courses that are taught at the junior high level.
Courses, okay.
And then at the high school level, there are 83 courses, different courses, of that, and there's 277 sections.
That's
Okay.
In those 83 courses at the high school level.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for putting this all together. I've been asking for this, so I'm really excited to see all of this together. And yes, there has been major improvements the quality of the programs in the last couple of years. I went to both of the district, the choral and the band, and our programs are phenomenal. I wanted to know, so now the hard questions. If about the 30%, you said that you broke down the 70% and the 30%. For the 30%.
The Prop 28 funding model?
Yes. For like Title I, sort of like our LCAP funding for our students, socioeconomical disadvantage.
The
foster
unduplicated
youth,
count.
special needs. I'm wondering if, in order to build equity, because that's part of your plan, would or could teacher development courses be plan for students with disabilities, for professional development.
Absolutely.
For those students, you know, they want to be involved. They all want to. It's not just one school that we have that did a phenomenal program, but we have a lot of our students that really want to be part of and involved. And I understand, you know, it's hard when you haven't been exposed or you don't have that license to teach that demographic. But are we thinking about that funding to help those teachers with that demographic?
We are, in fact. One of the things that is really, I think, interesting and kind of unique about that plan is that it actually kind of calls that out. It is in there somewhere in one of those strands, where we are intentionally talking about students with all ability levels, students with all backgrounds, and that we don't use that word lightly. Now, it does present a challenge sometimes with scheduling. It prevents sometimes a challenge with how you build an ensemble rehearsal. But we are committed to making sure that we have those opportunities for those students. We, just prior to the COVID closure, we had started a partnership with an organization called United Sound, which provided it was a band program, instrumental music program that we piloted at very successfully at both Savannah and Kennedy high schools with their band students, current Kennedy band and Savannah band students who were supporting and teaching students with disabilities, supervised by a special education teacher and supervised by the band director. They would actually participate in rehearsals together. They learned literature together, and those students performed on a Savannah band concert or a Kennedy band concert. Those parents were in the audience, and it was an incredibly powerful experience, as you can imagine. For them to have their student up there and doing something that they honestly didn't think that their student would have the opportunity to do, because there are so many different forces at play there. That is something that we want to bring back. I've been talking with some of our teachers about doing that. It is an extra time commitment to be able to do that. There is another additional model that we're looking at that Huntington Beach Union High School District and Saddleback Valley Unified School District have started a unified arts program where it's not all day, it's not every single day, but there are structured times where this is that kind of instruction and peer leadership is happening, and it's happening in dance, and it's happening in vocal music, and it's happening in visual art, and they actually are. I think they're working on like a district-wide sort of celebration or showcase of that, and that's something that I would like us to work toward as well. The more involvement, the better, as far as I'm concerned. Arts is good for everyone. Sure, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
For both our SDC kids and our EL students. They have significantly more access to the material because they have that ability to pull them out.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Scott.
So my next question, if that funding allows for, you know, aides or you said tutors, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
And I'm assuming SEL lessons as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, those are embedded into our existing professional learning plan for those monthly PLC meetings that we do with the teachers in every curricular area.
Okay. And not to put you on the spot, but you know how I feel about our, you know, cultural life experiences with ethnic studies courses. So are we trying to
we have
encourage
embedded, we have embedded ethnic studies courses in theater. We have ethnic studies theater. We also have ethnic studies dance, and we also have Ethnic Studies Photography, a course which was written by our curriculum specialist for visual art, Angela Stecker, and is a model countywide for how to actually really do a great job of embedding the ethnic studies course material and concepts and sort of braiding that with the art standards. So I think we're doing a pretty darn good job of it right now. There's always room for growth. I'd like to see it more in some of the other curricular areas, but we're definitely on our way.
Okay, fantastic. And I did have one more question. A lot of students love to be on the stage, but there are a lot of students that like to be backstage. So plans for backstage crafts, backstage, or even business, music business?
We have, these are all great questions. The stagecraft class at the high school level was actually revived this year. And I believe it is it's in the master schedule. Students are enrolled there at Cypress. Is that right, Scott? Yeah, the other high school programs that may not have had enough students that were interested in technical theater, whether it was lighting, sound design, whatever, to create a separate section of it, or sets or props or whatever. Those students are enrolled in the existing theater courses, and they're providing instruction. We actually have the ability with some of those arts assistants to come in, who's somebody who is a technical theater expert, somebody to come in and work on lighting, somebody to come in and work on sound, while the teacher is working with the rest of the students on scenes and character development and those kinds of things. So we have that. We're moving that way, especially if we're going to get kids involved in that creative economy that I was talking about. Because if you're a good sound person, you're a good lighting person, you're a good set design person, you're working right out of high school. You're paying your way through college.
Absolutely. And then in the spirit of our career prepared, I'm always looking for that type of certification. So anything that we can do to get students certified, in high school, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think we'll see more of that as we see a little more build out in the technical theater side. I personally would like, because I'm like an audio geek, so I kind of like that stuff.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your presentation and your team for all their work. I'm really excited about the Youth Arts Council, so looking forward to that coming to fruition. I had a few questions. My first one is, for the Prop 28 money, are we reviewing the programs of our feeder elementary students to see what's coming up that they're interested in, how we could implement that?
We are. That's another great question. We've been working with Anaheim Elementary and Cypress Elementary in terms of developing pathways and developing K-12 arts pathways. I have a meeting next week with the folks in the Centralia district who reached out, and they are interested in aligning what they're doing with what we're doing. I also have met with the folks in the Savannah and Magnolia districts. That's in the middle there in the Savannah and Magnolia districts. I need to get back to that part. Kind of been working at around the outsides. Since the bulk of our students come to us from Anaheim Elementary. That's kind of a focus for us right now. But I will say also that there are a ton of things that we're doing. We've been doing area concerts in the band and choir side for, where we have the students from an Anaheim Elementary school or two or three together that feed into one of our junior highs. We'll have a concert where we have the high school band, the junior high school band that feeds that, and an elementary composite band made up of the elementary school students that feed into that junior high. And then they'll fill up a gym, and they'll do a concert for everybody, and then we'll clear the gym, and then we'll bring those folks back in, and or different folks back in, and we'll do one for choir. That's something that has been a great model for us. I'm really been excited and pleased and grateful for the collaborative spirit that the arts teachers and administrators in those districts have had with us.
Thank you. And then my second question, you shared about Prop 28, and then you mentioned the Drake Gives Foundation. Can you elaborate on what the foundation has given us and the partnership that you and your team brought for the arts?
Sure, absolutely. The Drake Gives is a nonprofit funded, it's a nonprofit organization that's, if anybody's ever been down to Laguna Beach and you've been down to the Drake restaurant, it's, it's up here on the experiences down there in Laguna Beach. It's an incredible experience. The owner of the Drake is Alec Glasser. Alec is a product of the New York public school system, played saxophone in Queens growing up, and was bused to school outside his home area. He went to a school where he didn't know anybody, and music is what kept him from making bad choices when he was in school, and he always wanted to give back, and now he had the opportunity. They founded, they created the Drake Restaurant. As soon as they created the Drake Restaurant, they also created the Drake Gives 501c3. That is the major funder of the grants that we have received from the Save the Music Foundation. They donate to us through the Save the Music Foundation. Save the Music coordinates the grants. The Drake Gives is actually the funder behind it. And they are in 8 of our schools in the last 2 years.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Long, but covered a lot of territory.
It is.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next, public comments, and we have nobody has turned in anything at the moment for general public comments, so we'll move on to item 12.1, school sponsor student organizations.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 12.2, resolution number 24-25-B-11, emergency resolution for gas line repair at Cypress High School.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Unfortunately, that we have these emergencies that pop up. So, Mr. Hoshi?
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 12.3, resolution number 2024-25-B-12, establish the building fund number 2128 for Series 2025 bonds.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments? Seeing none. Mr. Hoshi?
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 12.4, resolution number 2024-25-E-12, Career and Technical Education Month.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Randall Trejo, would you want to say something about
yes,
career technical
absolutely.
education?
And we have Lehia Hallstrom, Dr. Lehia Hallstrom from ROP in our audience. And Scott, yes, Dominguez.
By the way, Ms. Randall Trejo is the president of the ROP. That's why I'm having her talk.
I don't know why. I've always said that ROP has been, the right arm of our school district because it aligns with our values, aligns with what we are trying to do for kids, giving them opportunities. You heard me talk a little bit about, our students being given the opportunity to go to college or the opportunity to start a career right after high school. And ROP has been doing both in that area. A lot of their, I think all of their courses are A through G aligned so that students don't have to choose. Used to be that you took an ROP course and kind of you had to not think about your college. And but we've been working in the last probably 7 years in aligning our the ROP courses to have A through G alignment. And a lot of the courses are what's the word I'm trying to think of? It's they're very sophisticated courses now. Used to be that people thought that ROP was for those kids, but a lot of the courses are very highly sophisticated, technical, biomedical, and things like that. Students have been asking for hands-on learning, and that's the way I see ROP courses. So I am so happy that Ligia is here, so happy to be serving on AUHSD board so that I get a chance to serve in another capacity on the ROP board. So we give our students more and more opportunities to learn and to grow.
Yeah, we're fortunate to be, I think, leading the way. It only took the state about 40 years to swing around from where it used to be hands-on technical to back where we're now really seeing the light of why we need to be hands-on technical. So thank you so much for being here and representing the ROP. So with that said, Mr. Hoshi, did we already vote on that one? No, we hadn't. No, Mr. Hoshi.
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo.
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero.
Aye.
And I vote aye. So that is 12.5, resolution number 2024-25-E-13, National Parent Teacher Association Founders Day.
So moved.
We have a
Second.
motion and a second. This is always a special time, especially recognizing all that has been done over the years, the last 100 years now. It has been, was it 1920 something when it was founded? So with that said, Mr. Hoshi?
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
Aye, and as a former PTA leader, I don't think I'd be able to sit in this seat had I not had the experience of learning and growing in the PTA organization. They taught me a lot about educational, all of the financials and all of the part of the advocating for students, and so I'm a proud PTA member, and will always be grateful for this organization.
Thank you. Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 12.6, resolution number 2024-25-E-14, Black History Month. This is a roll call vote, and I'll just say that there is a presentation coming up at Kennedy Performing Arts Center on, do you recall the date?
28.
Is the 28th of the month? So everybody that's listening, come to the presentation. It's a nice evening to recognize this event. So, Mr. Hoshi?
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Resolution number 2024-25-E-15, Read Across America 2025. This is a roll call vote.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Hoshi?
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Resolution number 2024-25-E-16, Preserve Music in Our Schools Month.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Didn't we just talk about all this with Mr. Belsky just a few minutes ago? So, yes, we shouldn't just do away with this. We don't need this, right? Mr. Hoshi?
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Resolution number 2024-25-E-17, Arts Education Month.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Mr. Hoshi?
Definitely aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
And I would just like to say, in the spirit of thinking about our former trustee, Anna Piercy, I would like to say aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Resolution number 2024-25-E-18, Women's History Month.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Hoshi?
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. We had moved 12.11 forward, so we're now 12.12 under Business Services, New Board Policy 1230, School Connected Organizations, second reading.
Aye. I'm sorry.
Do we have a
Yeah,
motion?
motion.
Do we have a motion on this?
Motion and then second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, I had one question. Can we provide just a quick summary to the public watching for some of the implementations that we put based on the feedback from our
Yes,
parents?
definitely. We're going to have our controller, Joe Kimona, to come to the podium and give a short summary. And then once this is approved by the board, we also have training that will be rolling out at the end of this month as well as next month as well. And so Joe can talk about those trainings. We have one virtual and one in person as well. So then people can have the luxury to either do it online or come in person as well. So,
Mr. Cremona?
Good evening, board, cabinet. I heard Dr. Nien say short summary, so I will be modeling for my fellow colleagues, Mr. Pelsky. So our this board policy is a long time coming, and it is from my perspective, it is the board's public acknowledgement of the tremendous contributions that our community and parents make to various programs around the district. So this policy will sort of bring those groups that we've kind of kept at arm's length to some extent, rightfully so, bring them into the light, so to speak, and really legitimize their contributions to our district programs, while also ensuring that the board and district maintain its fiduciary responsibility. So the policy and the manual and accompanying documents, the booster organizations will be required to apply to operate within the district on an annual basis. There'll be a number of required documents that they'll have to provide to legitimize their status as a booster. Those will be reviewed by district staff and then presented to the board for approval, again, annually. And it's both an acknowledgement of the contribution and also gives us some ability to regulate any potential bad actors out there in the community who may try to be taking advantage of a situation or another group of parents. So this is, I think, a really exciting opportunity for us to continue to broaden and expand what we provide as a district, really supported by our community with their blood and sweat and tears in many cases, and us to provide support for the school sites to work collaboratively together and have a positive and productive relationship and eliminate any potential issues that we know have occurred over the years. And this really gives us the ability to manage them effectively and to continue to meet the needs of our students in a positive manner for all involved. So there'll be an application process, there'll be training. As Dr. Nien said, we have 2 trainings tentatively scheduled pending your approval this evening. And then I anticipate we'll have potentially a few more as we get closer to the end of the school year, just to ensure any organizations who may not be able to participate initially get the opportunity to go through that training, submit their application, and be prepared to support the programs heading into the summer and fall months of the upcoming school year. Any other questions that I could answer?
Yes, I was a little confused because in the past, maybe I remember this differently. I thought we were filtering funds through the ASB, so we're not doing that anymore.
So there's really 2 types of organizations that will be associated. There are student organizations, and those are the ASB funds, right? Mm-hmm. So there are very particular rules for student organizations that are governed by FCMAT, which is our statewide organization. You obviously see all of those applications to start student organization, right? So they fall under the direct supervision of the district. ASB funds are actually considered public funds as part of the district, right? And so the students have a very integral voice in deciding how those funds are spent. Booster organizations are organizations for adults. The adults run make the decisions, do the bulk of work. Yes, you might be supporting a visual performing arts program or an athletic program, and you can ask that the students help out in those, right? But they don't have to participate in that. And really, the bulk of the activity is the responsibility of those adults who are part of the organization. The adults are the members of the organization, whereas the ASB is the students are the members of the organization. Our ASB clubs require the supervision of a certificated employee, right? So their teacher or club advisor who works with the students and helps, plan all of the activities, where the boosters, that will be totally outside, right? Those are run by those community members or parents who've chosen to participate in that organization.
So, Mr. Carmona, if you have a team that's really small, like a water polo team, would they don't have the manpower to do a booster club? They would run their funds through ASB then?
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Many of our programs are doing that already, right? They do not have the ability to have a full-blown booster organization, and so they run their fundraising and sort of their additional types of activities through ASB and through our school sites.
And one more question: who is ultimately responsible to make sure that we're following this policy? Because we've had trainings under like CASBO and some other things, and like some things haven't changed. And so, like, who holds groups accountable? Is it your office, or is it the administration? Is it the person that's assigned to in their lane to identify and then to address it?
Right. So with the, again, expected passage of this policy, right, really gives our site administrators the authority to both approve and revoke the operation of a potential booster organization, right? There is a relationship between us and the boosters. So they are a separate legal entity, right? So ultimately, the members of that organization are responsible for the running of that organization. However, they interact with the campus, the students, the staff, and so if there's anything that is detrimental to the program or to the students, now this policy gives our administrators the right to essentially tell them to cease and desist, right, operating on behalf of the school. Our intention is that if someone does unfortunately make a mistake or do something, that we can work with them, we can correct that, and they could be reinstated, right, and continue to support, the students in whatever ways possible. But this really gives us now kind of the ability to do that. Again, if there were to be an accusation of criminal activity, that would be a separate thing that we would refer to our local law enforcement. But in terms of, our policies and sort of, the I don't like the way this is going right now, we have a opportunity to really get into that situation and help kind of resolve that. And ultimately, if need be, say like, hey, we're going to, ask you to cease your operations temporarily, right? But again, I anticipate that, the groups that have been doing this for a long time have the best interest of the schools and students at heart. And so, I expect nothing will be without some work, but the bulk of those organizations are happy to, I think, have this increased ability to really interact with the district in a positive and clear way.
So two questions or comment maybe. How do foundations play a role in this?
Foundations are separate organizations also. In that sense, this policy speaks to a school-connected organization, right? So a foundation, there might be a foundation for a school, or in, we have a district foundation, right? So again, that's a different relationship, a different type of organization than these booster organizations.
Well, Kennedy has like a scholarship foundation, and not to call out Kennedy, but that just comes to mind. That kind of falls in this as well.
So when this policy speaks to groups who are associated with a particular student group, right? So they're a school-connected organization, right? So they are the boosters for the band program or the boosters for the athletics program, right? So a foundation isn't necessarily connected to a school program in that sense, right? So again, they are a charitable organization, right? But their constitution, their mission is distinctly different than what a booster organization would do.
And again, shout out to PTA. A lot of these ideas are already founded in that organization. What about PTA? Does that fall within?
So we will also have our PTAs come along as part of this training. They're a little bit different because they have a national organization which provides them a significant amount of guidance and advice in terms of how to set their things up. They have a structure of folks to kind of go to when they need help. Where many of our school sites, there's a group of active parents and they don't know who to talk to in potential trying to, get something like this off the ground. So we will be inviting those groups to come and participate as part of this training as well, so that they receive the information or brought along at the, in the same way as the rest of these other booster organizations.
Okay, one more thing, sorry. I love the spirit in which this is printed and written. I just had a couple of additions. Could we pass this tonight and then add in those little additions? Could this be addendums, or could this be a living document, or?
So the manual is part of the administrative regulations, right? So we can make changes to that without having to update the whole board policy.
Okay.
We did send a response to your
suggestion,
so you can look those over, but we're definitely going to
didn't have time to read that, but those were in there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good then. Thank you.
I want to thank you, Dr. Nian, and you for your work on this. I feel it's been long overdue, but more so, I just really loved how thorough you guys were, and the question and answer portions and the do's and do nots, I think, is very clear for our parents and for the parents who support our kids.
Right, and this is really to protect the parents as well. Yeah. And so we want to make sure we have a lot of very involved parents, very, very giving, willing to do anything for our children, and really appreciate that. We also have a lot of parents that wanted the training and asked for guidance. And so we want to make sure that we're providing that. As Jill mentioned, we will be providing more training down the road. Our external auditor, E. Bailey, the partner, Andrew Park, will be coming to do the presentation for us. So we just want to make sure that it is something that our auditor can also provide the guidance for us as well. We do provide additional training for our own staff from FICMAT as well as from CASPO as well. We make sure that they come every year. We partner with OCDE as well as other districts to bring those trainings to our athletic directors, ASB advisors, assistant principals, and principals as well. So this is now the next level to provide the parents. And increasingly, more and more districts now are coming through this same, doing the same kind of process as we're doing. And so a lot of them are coming just due to different things that have come up. And so we're continuing to learn from other people as well. But we are maybe one of the few districts that were like kind of trailblazing in the front as well. And as you know, we wanted to protect our parents as well. And so as a parent in this district, I think this is also very beneficial for the parents. So just want to make sure that the parents understand that piece. Just need to have anybody from their organization to come to one training. We're not asking them to come to everything, just come to one, and then so that at least one person understands in that group. And so we're providing it, so the dates we're looking at is Thursday, February 27, 6 p.m., a virtual presentation. And then on Wednesday, March 12th, it's a 6 p.m. in person at the district office right here. Okay. And so we are providing multiple platforms, right? We want to make sure people have the access to it. And then if we need more down the road, we can absolutely do that as well. And so we're hoping we get this done sooner so that people can start getting training and start applying for their application to be viable for the school year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Long time
Thank you.
coming, and I'm sure it will answer a lot of questions. We'll probably raise some questions, but I think it will answer a lot and help out many throughout the district.
And congratulations, Joe, for your award last night. Bravo.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's 4-0. Item 1213, ratification leaseback agreement, Neff Construction, Inc., Cook Auditorium Theatrical Rigging Upgrade, RFP number 2024-14.
Slow moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's 4-0. Item 12.
Yes.
Already yes out there, okay. Item 1214, revised board policy 7605, arts education, first reading. Yeah. You looked at me like, what are you doing? No. Okay. What did I do? Okay, that's just information item only. Item 1215, adoption, arts, music, and instrumental materials block grant action item.
Slow moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any discussion, questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's 4-0. 1216, memorandum of understanding, MOU, West Ed and Urban Arts.
Slow moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, it says there's a stipend for the teachers. Is, like, what teachers, how are they selected? And, like, does anybody know, like the impact on that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Scott.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question. So we have a total of 10 teachers selected. They're junior high teachers because we were looking, these are exploratory computer programming lessons using Minecraft. So we reached out to pretty much every teacher who teaches any sort of computer science related elective CT at the junior high level. So we have almost all of our junior highs. I can't remember the exact list, but it's several of our junior highs and Oxford Academy as well participating. So, and then that stipend is kind of tiered based on their participation. So if they participate in the initial study, and then there's a follow-up study that goes into next year.
Thank you.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
exciting. Are we the only district doing this?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I can find out though.
It seems pretty innovative.
Yeah. Yeah, we're excited about it, and it aligns well with a lot of the work Jason Collar at South has been doing with Minecraft education. So, yeah, exciting.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's 4-0. Item 1217, proposal purchase through public corporation or agency, Borderland, Inc. for Linewise.
Slow moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? None? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 1218, agreement, Hydrion Corporation.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 1219, agreement, Elevate Learning.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's 4-0. 1220, agreement, Scholar System LLC.
Slow moved.
Second?
We
Excuse
have a
me.
motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, I wanted, it says that the fees are not to exceed $18,000 for 2 years. Are we going to get updates on the work that's being done there?
Yeah, so Jose Lara will be, this is going to take place at Gilbert, so he indicated that he would be providing updates to the board. And this is being paid by a 2-year, $25,000 grant. So,
Thank you. That was my question as well.
yeah.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? 4-0. 2021 is Membership California School-Based Health Alliance.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. 1222, information item only. It's a public hearing, so we open the public hearing. Disclosure of 2024-25 collective bargaining agreement with ASTA. Anybody wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. 1223, adoption of the 2024-25 collective bargaining agreement with ASTA.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. Thank you. 1224, initial contract proposal, AUHSD to ASME. That's information only. 1225, public hearing. Initial contract proposal, AUHSD to ASME. Open the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak? Seeing none, close the public hearing. 1226, initial contract proposal, ASME to AUHSD, information item. 1227, public hearing, initial contract proposal, ASME to AUHSD. Open the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak? Close the public hearing. 1228, public hearing, disclosure of collective bargaining agreement with APGA. Open the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak? Seeing none, we close the public hearing. 1229, adoption of the 2024-25 collective bargaining agreement with APGA. This is an action item.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's 4-0. Consent calendar. Anybody wishing to poll items? We're going to poll 13-1, 13-6, II, and 13-7.
Motion for the balance.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I pulled 13-1 because we have two speakers.
Okay.
First,
So moved.
okay, we.
Second.
Yeah, open this. We have a motion and a second. Okay, now we can have the speakers. Brian Fye, please come up to the podium. I don't need to speak. You do not need to speak. Thank you, Mr. Fye. Logan Harm. I don't need to speak either. Oh, very good. That makes everything real easy. Okay, so 13-1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 13-6, II, and 13-7.
Still moved.
Second.
Motion a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Aye. Okay, that takes care of that. We are now back to, where are we? Board of Trustees reports.
Cabinet.
Board of Trustees, or Superintendent's Office, Board of Trustee meetings.
Where is?
We didn't have any. Oh. Okay, that's right, we moved. Thank you for the reminder. All right, Board of Trustees.
Okay.
Mr. Hoshi?
You know, I get asked this question when I go out, and the first question they ask me is, what do you like about being a board member? And I tell them, well, I get to attend events, and I get to meet parents and staff, and also connect with students. So we've had a really busy month, especially in the arts. On the 18th of January, I got to go to the Pongo celebration with Dr. Bryant, and it was just great. Learning about the culture, the Tamil language. I didn't know there's so many languages in India, and I was just overwhelmed by the talent of the students and also the great food I got to experience. We had coffee with the principals at Cypress Elementary District, where 4 of our principals from Kennedy, Lexington, Walker, and Cypress High School met with the Cypress Elementary school district parents, and I thought it was great because they got to find out about the amazing things that our district is doing with the CPSF, with our 5 Cs, and so parents were there. And it just so happened there were a couple of parents there from the Pongo celebration, and they recognized me. So they said, "You were there Saturday," and I was, yeah. So that was great. I went to senior night for Cypress High School basketball. Went to the Budget Perspectives workshop presenting the governor's budget for the 25-26 year. And as a board member, I feel gosh, I wanted to hear, boy, Nancy, what you and Joe and your team do. Gosh, I was like a deer in headlights, but I was a sponge and just taking all in the information because I feel like I should know what we're doing. The 22nd, Anaheim Public Utilities, Trustee Guerrero and Board President O'Neill joined me at the awards recognition for the sustainability schools in our district. So CVA and South were both recognized, and students from both those programs were there. So congratulations. I got to go to open house for Savannah and Kennedy on the 22nd, and then Dr. Cedillo got to go to her LCAP meeting on the 23rd, and it was presented so well. Kids could understand what LCAP was all about, and I think we're going to get more participation and more student voice. On the 24th, was the choral showcase, and we had the district honor choir at the end. So it's really exciting to hear the progress that these students are making. The 25th, Saturday, Walker had their junior high showcase, and they invited parents to come in from the community to experience what life at Walker is going to be like. Talked about their dual language, the Korean dual language program, their esports program, and then their AI pathway. And one of the things that I really liked about their ASB did a blessing bags for fire victims. That was their serve-a-thon project. I thought that was great. And so Laura High School, the 27th, Jessica, Trustee Guerrero joined me for the dedication for the building, the wrestling room for John Dalem. And then the next night on Tuesday, the 28th, Anaheim Union High School, Years of Service. I really enjoy going to that event just to honor all these people that have had 20 plus years, 25, and to also hear Brad Jackson's little quips of what happened during those years. So I look forward to that. Cypress High School had their open house, and on the 29th, the 30th, I got to go to the historic Orange County Courthouse for a ribbon cutting for the Omnivision Art Across Boundaries, which Supervisor Sarmiento was there, and it was a ribbon cutting ceremony. Kennedy Performing Arts, the honor band, oh my gosh. These students sounded like professionals. And I was just so amazed at the level of professionalism and the difficulty of the pieces they played. I mean, I had to go over there and look at the score of what the percussion kids were playing because it was so difficult. And I'm like, how do you do that? And so I'm going to tell the audience, future performances, please attend. Our arts people are doing a phenomenal job. Western High School had their staff development, and we talked about the redesign and the envisioning process. And then I went over to Cypress for their staff development, and they did a presentation on the same work and the dashboard for eCadence. City of Westminster, on Saturday, February 1st, I got to represent our district at the TEP Parade, and that was a fun event. And want to thank Ricky Pham for organizing a group of 60 AUHSD students who showcased their talents doing the lion dance and also providing a drum line for performing for 15,000 spectators. Kennedy High School, I went to the the discipline committee, and Kennedy shared and Walker shared what's working and some of the things that is working at their school sites in regards to discipline. And Dr. Freed, we went over, again, the cell phone policy that's going to be implemented shortly. Oxford Academy Senior Night for boys and girls. I love seeing how we're doing this across the board with our athletes at senior nights at various school sites, but we honor the seniors for their dedication to their sports. And it's really nice to see the families join them on the court or wherever they assemble, but it's just a great acknowledgement. Orangeview had an honorable ceremony, and it was great to see scholars. There were so many scholars there, and it's a great job that the administration does. I went to coffee with the principal on February 6th, and then to the first LCAP meeting on February 6th, Thursday night, here at the district office. And thank you, Dr. Sidhu, once again, and Mr. Saldivar for your leadership with that. Coffee with the principals at Western and Orangeview to give an update on the redesign and where we're at, talk about block scheduling, the promising practices, and the pathway offerings for the students. So it's really exciting to see this all come together and the great things that are going to be happening at Western High School. Kennedy High School and Walker did their show choir showcase. They're getting ready for competition. So I just want to tell some of our neighboring school districts that have national champions to be careful, because Walker and actually Cypress, Walker and Kennedy, and they're going to be competing very shortly. So their competition season is coming up. Yesterday, I got to go to and join Trustee Guerrero at Catella High School. I want to thank Chuck Hernandez and his staff for just really being great hosts. And like Mr. Belsky said, 8 of our schools are getting funding for that. They are Ball, Sycamore, Orangeview, Dale Junior High Schools. And then at Brookhurst, they even have launched a mariachi program connecting students to their culture through music. Savannah and Catella High Schools, along with South Junior High, received the J. Dillon Music Tech Grants, providing students with access to modern music production and technology, preparing them for careers in the music industry. So proud of this partnership with the Drake restaurant and so forth, and Music Saves, because our students were so alive. And I want to thank Orangeview, Jody Reyes, and also Jody Urquidez, Joy Reyes, yeah, and for their kids performing yesterday. So again, thank you, our arts people, for your support of those students. And then last night we went and celebrated our very own Joe Carmona last night for being the Arts Administrator of the Year for Orange County. So thank you. And the other teachers that were acknowledged were Chris Johnson, and administrators Jose Lara, Emmy Leon, teacher, Heather Massey, Deanna Miner, Mike Pooley, principal at Savannah, Marianne Stewart, Taylor Thorne, and Heather Segara. So it's been a busy month, but I've enjoyed every minute of this, and thank you so much.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
Is that all? I had to say that. No, thank you so much. Every time I look on Facebook, he's there, and you're doing a great job as trustee. I have to tell you that. I'm very proud to serve with you. I was fighting that flu thing that everybody got, so I didn't get to go to a lot of the things. I missed the Tet Parade and the Black Culture History Parade, and so years of service, all those things that I really look forward to. So, but I was there in spirit. So one thing that I did get to do was surprise Robert Police, our ROP Teacher of the Year, and he's going to be celebrated at the great Disney event that they have at the Disneyland Hotel. So it was really moving to go and surprise him at Anaheim High School. He was right in the middle of cooking, doing a cooking lesson, and we all got hungry because they were sizzling burgers, and so we're like, can we have lunch afterwards? But the students were really excited, and we were able to celebrate him, and he was very moved to tears, as a matter of fact. So that was wonderful. The district honor band and district choral showcase, as you said, those students were they were led by professionals in the industry, and the music was difficult, and they only had a couple of rehearsals, and they were impeccable. Just blew us away. As a musician, I hear a lot with my ear, and those students were just amazing. And I had to go look at the actual score I was just amazed at the expertise and the quality performance that our students exhibited. The district choral showcase, as you said, our other students in other school districts, they're going to have a lot of competition with our kids, and just the joy in their faces, all performing, and very, very, very moving piece with our Hope School. I can't really describe just how moving it was. And it wasn't because it was in spite of those students' disabilities. Those students were amazing. They were excellent in their performance. All of them were attentive and just giving us all of them. And I think the whole audience just really were moved to tears. So I want to thank all of our choral and band teachers for giving us that opportunity to showcase our students in that light. ROP meeting last night where we honored again Robert Police for the Educator of the Year. Dr. Lihia Hallstrom was also honored, Administrator of the Year, and Bob Muswami from Savannah High School, our Chef Bob, was also honored as a teacher. And I think that was it for ours. I attended my Greater Anaheim SELPA meeting, and I was only able to go to one school, and that was Catella, for the day of service. And I had intended to try to go to a couple, but got stopped at Catella because, when people are really excited about what they're doing, they stop to talk to you, and so a really cool thing to see our students teaching other students. The cheer did a day of service and taught the littles some cheer and dance routines. I got to see the sprucing up of the garden that's over at Catella, and a couple of other events were going on. They were collecting toiletries and clothing for the fire victims. I mean, it's just an amazing event, Mike, that you started for our district so many years ago. Our students, they're just, it's a spiritual experience, I think, for a lot of our kids. If they don't have that opportunity to connect with what they believe in their higher power, I think this is really the day of service really helps our students connect in their spirit and in their soul, and to give back is just the greatest gift I think that above and beyond our education, their educational experience, giving those students that gift to give back is, I don't have the words, but thank you for establishing that. I also got to see the flooring going into the kitchen, Catella, and got to talk to the construction workers there, just delightful people. They really love our district, and they really want to do their utmost best for our kids. So it was really a cool opportunity to talk to, you know, and you heard our gentleman speaking. I mean, just the people that connect with our kids and our teachers and our administrators and employees here at AUHSD, once they get to meet us, I think they really fall in love with us. And I also that day got to go to the PTA Reflections. Laura was there over at the Orange County Department of Ed to see our students' art at that really nice venue. They do a great job of displaying that. I am looking forward to the Black History event, and for some reason they've asked me to speak at it. So I'm happy to do that, and I'm extremely honored. So thank you.
Thank you. It has been a busy month. So I was also able to attend the Anaheim Public Utilities meeting to recognize South Junior High School and Cambridge Virtual Academy for being recognized as Sustainable School awardees. I attended the open house at Savannah High School, and then was also invited by the Savannah High School Filipino American Youth Organization for their New Year in the Neighborhood event, which was a benefit gala and silent auction to support donations to the LA fire victims and Filipino culture programming. So that was a really good event. I also attended the newcomer student event at Anaheim High School. Had the opportunity to meet with our ELD students and families and just welcome them to Anaheim and answer any questions that they had. I joined my colleagues for the dedication of the John Dalen Wrestling Room at Laura High School, and to also celebrate our AUHSD Years of Service Awards, also at Laura High School. And then I had the honor of being part of the 45th Annual OC Black History Parade at the City of Anaheim, and you were missed. So I want to say thank you to Catella High School's JROTC and the students and staff from the Black Student Unions at Catella High School, Savannah High School, and Cypress High School for their participation in the event. And also, Catella High School's boys basketball team was actually part of throughout the parade. They opened the parade holding the main sign, and then they were volunteering throughout the entire parade. So I want to thank them for being there. President O'Neill and I attended the Immigration Know Your Rights Forum at Savannah High School, and I want to thank our community schools team for putting that together. I also attended the LCAP meeting this past Thursday, and then was also part of the Western High School and Orangeview Junior High School parent meeting on the consolidation and redesign process, and just want to thank Principal Crawford and Principal Moreno for all of their work throughout the process, making sure that our parents continue to stay updated as we move through that process for the upcoming school year. I attended the International Night at Magnolia High School, and so when I first started on the board, actually our former late trustee, Trustee Piercy, told me this was her favorite event, one of her favorite events in the arts program. I know she's a very big supporter of the arts, and she told me to attend it, and it's one of my favorite events, and I've gone every year. So it was a great event. Also attended the Save the Music Showcase event, which included Dale Junior High School, Orangeview Junior High School, and Catella High Schools. And then last night was the Health Insurance Committee. And then I was able to stop by at Anaheim High School. 4 of our sports were in CIF round 1. It was girls water polo, girls soccer, boys soccer, and boys basketball. And all 4 of them won last night, so they're now CIF round 2. So looking forward to those games and hopefully a win. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, they've covered all of my 17 items, except for one. Nobody said anything about open houses. I attended 3. That's my report. Advanced planning, future meeting dates are listed. Any suggested agenda items?
Not, just to ask that all of those resolutions, be posted wherever they can. I know this is a month where we kind of compact all of those things in there, but, this board really, truly, we put our money where our mouth is with, all of these resolutions. They're not just pieces of paper. We truly believe in them. So if we could just make sure that these are posted, that would be great. And I forgot to say Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
Oh, move to adjourn? No.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?